I am here to do the December reading for the Scorpio child. So this reading is intended for the parents, the guardians, caretakers of the Scorpio child. And a couple of things to mention is that this is not a gender-specific read. You will hear me use gender pronouns, he, she, they, loosely, but please apply them the way it's resonates for you and your household and your child. Okay. Also, I am aware that the age range here is going to vary, right? So you may be here for little itty bitty guys, or you may be here for toddlers or infants or teenagers and whatnot. So it's okay. It's all valid. It's all good. You'll just need to apply situations and circumstances. Now, keep in mind, because this is a child tarot reading, the circumstances are going to be very different than what you would normally get from an adult reading, right? Because we're doing this from the child perspective. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. And this first position, oh, just to mention also, we're going to do these 3 cards from the child's perspective, and then I'll go ahead and end with one final card for advice for you, the parent. Okay, so Scorpio child, what your Scorpio child is experiencing during the month of December. This is a great card to get right out of the gate. So your child is feeling confident. His or her heart is expanding. They're playing, they're being freer, they are really coming into the little leadership skills here, but they are also very open creatively. And you're going to notice that your child is maybe a little bit dreamier than usual in terms of his or her creative, very watery. You know, and the Queen of Cups is a very independent card. So you may also notice that your child is needing to spend more time alone, creating, adulting, if you will. Adulting from a child's perspective, though, not how we know it. You know, they're growing up, right? So you're going to notice that your child wants to spend time in more of a fantasy type of world while creating. And his or her heart is expanding and opening up and being more aware and observant of what's going on in the world, and, you know, being compassionate to things that are observed to be maybe disproportionate or injustices and whatnot. So there's a big feeling here of wanting to heal others. And of course, the child doesn't necessarily have the ability always to articulate those type of big words that we use as adults, you know, like healing and prosperity and all of those things, right? But they are aware nonetheless in their hearts and souls of these feelings. And so this is a really nice card to get, because at the crux of it is that your child is very content. And also you're going to notice a little bit more vulnerability during this month too, like a need to want to have mom or dad or grandma, whomever you are, closer than usual, a little bit more affectionate too. It's going to be, if you have a little one who's usually grumpy about affection, not so much here in December. You're going to notice a little bit more openness to that, not just to you, the parent, from you, the parent, but also classmates and, you know, siblings and whatnot, while also maintaining some kind of independence. So, you know, there is room for both there. Okay, so in terms of a challenge, okay, I see. Yeah, so there is going to be, here's the challenge, which is the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups on its own, when it's not in a challenge position, is about full family contentment, playing well with others, getting along well with everything. There's lots of love. There's lots of this going on. So when it falls in the challenge position, the way I'm feeling this is that your child is going to want to be sort of on their own quite a bit, creating and being inspired by, like, literally you're going to have little Scorpios kind of just dreaming off, staring at the wall. And you're not really sure why, but they're quite content doing it. Or they may want to just be in their bedrooms creating or writing or drawing, or, you know, playing by themselves. And so if you're getting the 10 of Cups, it doesn't mean that they're not going to be happy per se, but they are going to be a little bit withdrawn from the family dynamic. You know, there could also be, in terms of a challenge, if the Ten of Cups is here and afflicted, there could be a little disruption, like a temporary disruption to the family unit that is causing a little bit of a challenge and conflict for your child, meaning maybe one of the parents is out traveling for work and not present, or maybe there's some discord between the parents, or maybe between the sibling dynamic. There's something being interrupted here that's causing, you know, this conflict. But at the end of the day, though, your child, what they are actually experiencing is the sense of wholeness here, right? So even if this is going on, even if you do have some discord happening, your child is still doing okay here. Pretty darn good, actually, right? So this is good to just be aware of, because it can go one of two ways. Either your child's just going to need to be alone and it's causing conflict with the family members. Like, hey, you know, Junior, why aren't you coming out to eat with us at 6 p.m.? Why are you still drawing in your room? So the conflict could be that the family has an expectation, right? The family expects Junior to be at the dinner table by 6 p.m., but Junior wants to be, you know, and talking to his new ladybug friend that he just met on the windowsill, right? Like the things like that. So just know that if there is some kind of withdrawal happening here, this is, you know, this is what I'm picking up in terms of your child. But, you know, his heart space is very open. It may not seem like that because of this need for independence, but it's very much there. So if you are one of the handful of people here going through some kind of discord with your family, with your partner, with the divorce, like perhaps there are a couple of you going through a divorce here, you still, you know, you could still do it, right, in a way where the parents are connected, right? Because there's a sense here of not being connected. If this came up in the challenge, what this would normally be is disrupted. So again, apply it to your situation in the way that makes most sense for you. But that is the conflict challenge for your child. And what your child needs most from you, which for me, this is the most important, by far, the most important card, because this is what they actually need from you. And you got the Six of Wands. So little Scorpio here in the month of December needs you to validate his achievement, his creative, his little victories, right? Very much needs to be validated and celebrated. And this could be with, you know, verbal accolades. It could be with literal applause. It could be letting the other family members know, hey, did you see what little Scorpio created? Oh, did you look how affectionate? Did you see how sweet so-and-so is being? Or did you see, look at, he kept all his ladybugs alive, whatever it is, you know, whatever your child is up to. Very much needs you to validate the things that they're up to. And even that isolation, like it's okay. It's okay if you want to be alone and exploring your own world because your little one's expanding here, right? Your little one's growing up quite fast. When you get a child at the Queen of Cups level, oh my goodness, like a lot of adults don't always get to a Queen of Cups level. So you have a pretty evolved Scorpio here to get to this point so early on in the read. Okay, but at the end of it, you know, and Scorpios don't usually in general need to be validated or ask for it or want it. And maybe that's why he or she needs it, because he's not going to ask for it from you. But his heart space is so open that it is important for you to recognize it, dear parent. Okay? And also announce it to others. There's something here about announcing to others what he or she has done and created. And if there is this discord happening here with parents, it needs to come, like both parents need to validate the child, not just the one living in the household, but the one that's moved on or the one who's away for work or business. There needs to be a presence here that confirms this for your little one in the month of December. Okay, let's move on to your advice card. Let's see. Advice card for the Scorpio child parent. parent of a Scorpio child. And again, sometimes this card is an advice card just for you. But most of the time it is in relationship to the challenge your child is facing. It all depends. Let's see. Oh, that one flipped. Oh yeah, okay. Very nice. Page of Wands. Isn't that a gorgeous card? Beautiful. All right, parents. So the Page of Wands is really coming into your own vitality, almost as if for the first time, because the page is the amateur, right? He's stumbling still because he's getting to know himself or herself. So if you're getting the Page of Wands, it tells me a couple of things, and I'll get to the advice in a bit, but it tells me that this disruption here that's happening perhaps is because you yourself are starting from scratch, right? You are learning something new about yourself. There's some new endeavor that you're come into. Either you're newly single, or you're parenting on your own, or you're coming into a new creative endeavor or business. There is something that you are doing, and it could even be this parenting situation, or this issue here is so new for you because you're experiencing it from the perspective of the amateur, right? And Wands is our vitality, our energy, our creativity, our spirituality. And so there's something here that's so new for you, and you're finding yourself stumbling, right? And if we're reading it from the perspective of the child, it's also learning how to be the parent who gives the accolades, how to validate creativity, because you yourself are new in creating. You yourself are new in exploring your own abilities. It's almost like you're starting over somehow. Vitality is all about, your physical vitality is also a thing here. So maybe you were recently ill or sick, and you're finally, you're starting to feel yourself feeling better. And so you're feeling a new zest of life, like a child or amateur exploring vitality for the first time. And so that could have been this issue here too. The conflict or discord that we were sensing earlier could have been that one of the parents was ill, sick, and not around because of that. But now you're coming to, right? You're coming back. You're coming back to life, so to speak. And the advice here is to be gentle with yourself in this process. And it's okay to not have all the answers to this issue here that's going on. And even in learning, because you're learning yourself how to give yourself accolades here. You yourself are learning. So you're kind of stumbling here a little bit, right? Like, how do I show up? So Spirit is saying here, in terms of advice, it's okay to start over from scratch. Your child is fine. Your child is feeling independent and lovely, and they're good. Just make sure that he knows that he's perfect just the way he is, and all is well, despite this discord going on here. And, from the page, you will soon become the knight, and from the knight, you will become the queen, and then the sage, the king. So be patient with yourself, because you're on your way. And it all, it affects your child, right? But also, whatever this is very positive for you. This starting over is actually a good thing. And you will all benefit from it. So that's beautiful to see. Here, go ahead and take a look at that. And I apologize if there's major glare there. I think there is. But anyhow, okay, so keep doing you. Keep expanding, keep learning. Be gentle with yourself. Give your kiddo lots of love and affection and accolades. Let them do weird stuff creatively, even if it doesn't make sense. Let them just explore their own individuality and creative. And it's okay if they're not wanting to hang out with friends because they're just really growing internally. And if they do, that's great too, right? They do want to hang out with friends and create. Anyhow, have a wonderful rest of December. And also, I hope to see you back here in 2021 for the January reading. And please, once again, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends, family about this. Please share with other parents. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.